What's up, y'all? It's Cam and
Gorgeous.
we back with the IIC podcast and a couple new topics that might be of interest to y'all. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe so you can get the alerts on the new topics.
Miss Shine, we're doing a podcast and we're speaking on mental health issues.
I know a lot of crazy people.
Okay, you ain't one of them. Listen, we were talking about mental health issues, right? I just had a question. From your personal opinion, where do you think mental health issues start from or come from?
Well, mental illness come from people that get high.
You say they get high?
They come from people who get high, okay.
Today, we gonna talk about relationships and
I was thinking parenting
and relationships. And we might throw another topic in there depending on how I go, like a bonus topic.
Well, there's been a lot going on in our area, community with relationships. And however they may start, they may not end up well, so to speak. So
just be more specific.
Oh, well, some of the hot topics going around in our area is domestic violence cases where allegedly people are being accused of committing crimes towards their significant other or ex-significant other because the relationships did not work out for whatever reason.
So personally, we are against domestic violence and relationships. And of course, always, we encourage you to seek help if you are facing any domestic violence situations. But I don't know, like what
can we say about relationships? Well, I got a lot of personal experience, so I can talk about personal experience to myself. However, I feel led to say what I need to say, but I can talk from my personal experience. Let's just jump into it. So, well, you could go first.
No, you go ahead. You gonna speak about your experience with domestic violence?
I'm iffy on what I would consider my experience is. I wouldn't say necessarily. It depends on how you want to.
You want to ask me?
It's touchy.
You want to
Let's go first.
Ask me.
So, have you had an experience with domestic violence?
Yes, I've had an experience with domestic violence.
And I think I have a few questions. First, I want to say the person that you had this experience with, how did that start? How do you even think that even came about to where you felt like it was an experience of domestic violence?
I had a few experiences with domestic violence. First of all, let me just say I'm in the community. I no longer date men, but I have dated men in the past. And so I had a lot of experience with that. And I've had experience with women too. So it can go both ways. Domestic violence can come from a man or a woman. But I can't really give a reason as to why domestic violence happened. You know, it could be multiple reasons. It could be lack of communication, mental health, a lot of different reasons. But I have had some experiences. A lot of them wasn't that great, you know.
Okay.
Being a victim is never okay.
Okay. When I say that, I'm saying, do you think there was like things leading up? Because first you had to meet this person that you had this experience with.
True.
So do you think there were things or signs or red flags going into this relationship with this person that ended up with these results?
Yes, I definitely think it was red flags. And that's a great question to point out some red flags that happened early on. So this was years ago. I met a guy and the guy was older than me, 10 years plus. Is that always a sign? No, but everybody know with age difference, it can be a difficult situation because it can sometimes be a control kind of thing when you're younger and they're older. So that was the first thing. That wasn't a good thing. But I would say the first sign was the first time the person hit me. You know, and maybe because of my age, I didn't see the sign at the time because I met them when I was still
if you don't mind, what was happening around that first time? Like an example, what might be taking place when the first time that person hit you?
Well, I can tell you exactly what happened because I'm not afraid to tell you what happened. And it was so long ago that it's kind of like, that was a very long time ago. But the first time that I noticed this was becoming a physical situation was basically young. I was in the car with this person. And yep. So I was young. I was in the car with this person. I was being promiscuous, trying to be like lovey-dovey. And I was trying to kiss them, but at the same time, I was doing a hickey thing. You know how you try to get somebody hickey? I don't know if they told me to not give them hickey or not because I don't remember that much. Anyway, I ended up giving this person a hickey and the person got upset about it.
Oh, wow.
And like totally flipped and looked in the mirror like, you gave me a hickey. And just imagine somebody getting mad because you gave them a hickey, right? And then they just swing on you. It was like, you gave me a hickey, then he just like, if I recall, pushed my head into like the door, the window.
Wow.
Yeah, it was major. It was extreme. So that was the first red flag. But by me being young, I stopped talking to him for a little bit, but it was like right before I was about to go to college. I went off to college in a whole other state, but I still was kind of keeping in contact with him. And then when I got back, we were still talking. And then a couple other incidents happened after that. But that was the first red flag because it was just like out of the blue, you know? It wasn't really verbal or nothing before that. That was that. It was just boom, there you go.
How did that person treat you? Like, what was the positive side of that person?
The positive side was the fact that I was young. I kind of grew up in, I'll just say, the hood or the ghetto, not very financially set, and no father in home. That's always, I feel like, an issue. And so when I met him, and by him being way older, the financial security was there, and that made me probably feel secure.
That was the positive side.
That was probably one of the main positive sides. You know,
felt financially secure.
Yeah, and like I said, he was older, so it wasn't like he was wild or nothing like that. He was kind of calm, so I just felt for the maturity and the financial security, and that's what attracted me. That was really it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking in situations like that, it's something that you gravitate to. Obviously, if you think, oh, I'm going to be in a domestic situation, I sign up for this. Kind of like are attracted to something, it's something special about the person. They're treating you a certain type of way where you feel safe or comfortable until you don't. Right?
Yeah, and I think at the time, sometimes it's what you're missing. Or if you end up being vulnerable at the time. But in my case, I feel like I'm being so young, inexperienced. It was more about what I was missing, what I didn't get. Like I said, the absent father. Because a lot of times, your father is supposed to play that security role, that protector role, maybe even that provider role, depending on your household situations. But the absent father is an issue, you know, once you start to date, because you're just missing that. You're missing that fatherhood. So I think that's really what it was, missing that fatherhood in the home. Because if I grew up with my father and had that attention from a man like I should have had, then I probably would have never went that route. I probably would never get that person the time of day. It's really what I think.
I don't know, because you know everybody got a story. So
that's true, but just imagine.
What if you have a good father in the house and still take a
most
wrong
people I
turn?
see, you could take the wrong turn, but
well, I don't think it's on you as the person, because we have no control over the other person, so they can take a different turn.
Yeah, you can always take a different turn.
I'm saying.
Yeah, because I know people that has a father in their home and they still was promiscuous and running around and still wanted attention and stuff like that. If you're that type of person with that type of personality, but you know, it just depends.
I can see that though. I can see that being a majority of cases where your first experience with a man would probably be your father in a way of maybe knowing how to be treated, or where he can teach you how you should be treated. Yeah,
if you got a present father and a father that's actually trying to be there and trying to raise you, I think it makes a difference in your choice of partners. That's what I think. Especially if you're young, because usually your father keep you from making certain decisions when you are a teenager, like 18, 19. They still trying to shape you. You know what I mean? So I might have missed that. The person that I was talking about, I might have missed that if my dad was there, because he probably would have stopped him from even coming. No, you got to think I was still staying with my mom.
Yeah, so what they call it, subconsciously looking for something in somebody else. Like you don't even realize you're doing it, I guess. You're meeting a certain need in that other person that you typically need, probably from your parents.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
in my case,
though, if you realize you were doing it, you probably it'll be a different outcome, I'm sure. And you said you was younger, so that was an experience that you went through. It ain't like you knew. What to do.
Like today, for example, I know I would never get that person the time of day. Like, so do you want to share one of your experiences, or you want me to go into? Because I got a few experiences that I would consider a domestic violence experience.
Because you said it's in females too, so we can.
How about we go back for a situation where you feel like it would be considered a domestic violence situation, and it's something you overcame, and it's something you can tell somebody today, and you can share your story, but you don't have to share all your story. Just share what you want to share.
Okay, well, my experience was I did not realize I was in a domestic violence situation because I had no experience with it personally. I've seen other women go through it. So I want to say that at this particular time in my life, it's after I had gotten married and went through a divorce for the first time. I've been married twice. So after my first failed marriage, I would say, I don't know if that's safe to say, and it was with someone from my childhood that I ended up marrying in my early 20s. So anyway, I felt fairly lonely, failed marriage. I think I was at a vulnerable time in my life. It's the things I wanted to have that I didn't get in my first marriage. I'll just say there were things that I wanted that I didn't get at that time. I think I just accepted whatever, and I don't want to say whatever in an offense to myself or anybody else, just my standards of what I'll deal with were lower, or I'd acknowledge certain things or make certain boundaries because of where I was at after a first failed marriage. So whatever looks good at that time, I was like, okay, this is cool, because there's some things I didn't accomplish. I still want this family. I still want this. I still want that. So I get into a relationship, and there were some positive things in that relationship, obviously, is the reason why I was okay with it. But
what's one thing?
How I ended up here.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was saying that's probably the reason why I didn't realize it was a domestic.
Well, what was the positive things that was going on to why you didn't realize that it was a domestic violence situation? Like, what are some of the things that was happening that made you be like, this ain't that?
The type of person that the person was. Very kind, very family oriented. I know it sounds crazy, but almost like a cool best friend. At the same time, my lover. Then there are things that just go all the way left, and then they just left. And it's like, who is this person now? You know, out of all the fun that we would have, it doesn't equal to the pain in the relationship, because I wasn't familiar with that. I've never been cursed out like that by an individual so much, or striked by an individual like that in an argument. So after a while, I started to realize, oh, this is what happens, because after that happens, I apologize, I'm sorry, and there's the gift giving, or let's hang out, let's do this, let's go here, to make up for it until it happens again. So then I realized, okay, this might be a cycle.
Okay, so you realize the cycle. You finally, I guess, come to the realization that, okay, this is a domestic violence violent situation. You know?
It's not probably going to stop no time soon, you know?
And they say most of the time when it happens, it always just get worse. It always progress for the most part, you know.
Because it goes from name calling, then it goes.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Give me any scenario you feel comfortable with sharing. If not, you don't have to share it. Like a particular physical altercation that happened, or was it verbal? Like, or how did it start? Like, did it start with just verbal abuse, or did it start with the physical? Because like in my situation, it didn't start verbal unless I didn't notice it. But to me, as far as back as I can remember, because this was years ago, as far as back that I can remember, I don't remember it being verbal to down the line after the physical. So it's kind of like backwards for me. You know what I'm saying? But what was it? Was it verbal first or physical first? And if you don't mind sharing, what was at least one of the verbal things that was done, or one of the physical things that was done to you?
I want to say, I think it was all in one. It was like a verbal altercation followed by physical, all in one. The very first time. I can only remember so much, but I want to say the very first time was verbal and physical. And then it would go on to verbal until it get physical again eventually one day. You know, because it wasn't something that was like everyday basis consistently. It could be sporadic moments, but throughout the relationship, it would be verbal.
What was said? Was it the B word, the A word, the S word?
Verbal conversation went more like, I got called the B word. I got accused of doing things I didn't do when I was actually at the same place as the other person. That were like vulgar things like, why would I do that? And then we in the same place. And I was offended because like, you don't think I have a certain amount of self-respect even if you wasn't here. So yeah, it was like bizarre accusations towards me and my behavior.
And what was the physical thing? Like the first physical thing that was like, oh, this person abusive.
The first physical thing is, I don't know if it was, oh wow.
That you want to share.
I'm almost like, I can't remember which incident happened first, but it's two in my mind from the very beginning. And I can't remember which one happened first. But one happened where we were out at an event and I got striked in my face, but it happened so fast. I don't know if it was open hand or closed hand, but I ended up like with one of those stars inside of my eye. And I made an excuse for it because we had been drinking, the both of us. And that was so crazy because typically that person was not a drinker. And I was. Crazy. But I wasn't type, and still not the type when I drink to be violent. When I do indulge or drink or whatever, it's more excited, friendly, like the party, more social with it. But in this situation, I don't know. So I made excuses for like, oh, we were both drinking and one thing led to another. After a while, I stopped making those excuses clearly because it didn't have nothing to do with that. These incidents will happen without any alcohol involved. So that's what made me stop making excuses for that. But I can't place which incident over the other, but there was another one I want to say may have happened first than that one or vice versa, but I was struck again. And I ran. It was in my home and I ran to a neighbor and the neighbor helped me and the guy busted out my window in my home because I guess he couldn't find me. And so he just went bizarre.
That is a lot. That's a sad situation. You put yourself through so much trauma in life, and that's just traumatizing. That's just sad. And then the truth of the matter is, a person got to take accountability of themselves, especially when they grown adults. And you can say what you want to say. Oh, this person pissed me off. I got this. I don't have it all. It's your responsibility to take care of your own mental health, keep yourself from putting your hands on people. You get to a point in life where you like, this person was abusive because that's who they was. That's who they was choosing to be. They was choosing to lose control. They chose it because they felt like it was no repercussions. They felt like you couldn't defend yourself. They felt like they had the upper hand. And that just is what it is, you know, and you got to just look at it for what it is.
It's always confusing and puzzling because the victim at the time, they don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand what they did for this to be taking place. They're like not on the level of the attacker.
Most likely.
They're just not. They're just not mentally there wherever the other person is at in their mind.
There you go, because that's a mental thing. So I'm going to go down real quick to the other side. All right, so now I'm getting into my LGBTQIA community. So I started coming out, I started getting into women, things like that, because I would call myself a late bloomer as far as dating and all of that good stuff. But I get with a woman, and like I said, I'm not a big person, but I am more of the masculine type in the relationship. And I meet a girl, and this is how I learned that women can be aggressive. You know, they don't have to be masculine. It's a lot going on in the world. Yeah. So this girl was like tall, thick, and she was feminine, but you could tell she was like that aggressive, like angry type of woman. Like she had 2 kids, one was 11, and then she had a 2-year-old.
Or like a more on the dominant side.
Yeah, like a dominant female. You know how a girl is. She dressed feminine, but she aggressive at the same time. I would say that. But she also had a lot going on, is what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like her personal life. Yeah. Of course, me, I had a lot going on too, but I was never super, I had my anger moments, but I wasn't super angry. I'm just not that type of person. But anyway, she was mad aggressive, but she had already had experience in the community. Even though she had a couple kids, of course, that means she still was dealing with men here and there. Anyway, she had a stud she was dating, and her and this stud used to fight. And I don't know what it is about like toxic lesbian relationships.
Like they like to fight.
They like to tussle each other.
Straight couples like to fight.
Yeah, that's crazy too. As a straight couple, because it's like a man and a woman fighting, like that don't even make sense. So a stud and a film, I don't like that neither. I think that that's very toxic and that's very unhealthy.
You want to go to jail or end up 6 feet under.
Right, because that's where it's gonna end up.
That's where it's gonna end up.
But anyway, I think that was their nature. And when I came along, I hadn't come into my stud life yet, which means I was probably rock braids here and there, but I still probably look feminine because I'm a very pretty in the face. So it's kind of like you can't really tell I'm a stud unless you look at my mannerisms, kind of. Then you be like, oh, okay, this is a stud. Back then, you get confused looking at me, probably. You just be like, oh, that's a very pretty girl. Anyway, that could have been a conflicting thing, but either way it go, I don't know what this situation was about. It was either a jealousy situation or it was something like that. So the first thing that I realized she was super aggressive is she took the lead when we started like messing with each other on that level. No, I'm talking about like sleeping around.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't want to say the wrong word.
Okay.
She kind of took the lead in that. Like she was the aggressor, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, right? So that turned me off all the way because just imagine a woman trying to take your clothes off. That wasn't fun.
I don't know, guys. I think you would like. Would you like?
No, y'all can leave the comments.
Taking their
But
clothes off. I don't know.
but that was very, but that was like uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still new too to the community. I'm like, this girl is this is like one of the most aggressive girls I had ever been with.
Okay.
Like I'm talking about, we was on the kitchen floor and she was like taking my pants down.
I don't know, Cam. Some people would like that.
Nah, that's too much for me. I don't like that. So that was the first time she was really aggressive. So then I don't know how we got into it, but we got to like a physical altercation. It was like she didn't like kick my ass, but she was like kind of swinging me around, like, you know what I'm saying? Because she was big, and it was just like me. I'm the type, I really don't like fighting females, even though I had to learn like sometimes you gotta just go ahead and do that because they looking at you like you a female at the end of the day, and they going too hard. You know what I'm saying? So, but she was just like she was kind of just manhandling me, and I was just like, dog, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? This is not it. But that was really the only time I had that problem with a female. Okay. And you know, it wasn't super bad, but it just made me feel super uncomfortable. And I was like, I never date a female that's super aggressive like that ever again. You know what I'm saying? But that was really
I can see that. I can see how women can be. Women, you know, in relationships can be in domestic violence situations. I can see that.
Yeah, now I just don't like how some women, and don't get me wrong, women can be crazy.
Also the men, you know, the men on men. Oh, that
too, but
that's probably even worse.
Before we get there, they probably kill each other. Before we get there, the women on women, I don't like when women previously deal with men. And not to say that women don't fight men, because they do, because I've had my moments when I was like, I'll take your head off. You know, some women don't care. They'll fight a man or a woman. But I just hate sometimes when women got out of these relationships with these men, then they go to like these studs and they just be mad aggressive with the stud. They taking out all their problems on this little ass stud. Like, so that's how I feel about it. But that's all I was gonna say on that topic.
I can see that. We had a conversation before.
Yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? It's like
where women typically, because they had so many bad experiences with men, decide, okay, well, I'll meet this woman or whatever and feel comfortable and decide, okay, it's safer here. And now you find yourself
being the abuser.
Being an abuser. You're in a position of aggression, especially where you're coming from. I think that can happen in any aspect of a relationship. Say I come out of a abused relationship and meet this guy that is very
nice,
mild mannered,
nurturing,
and
don't want to fight,
and I take advantage of that and
you hit him upside the head,
and start to verbally and physically abuse him.
Now that's a good topic because
I can see that happening.
People don't talk about it, and men, if you watching, leave in the comments if you have any experience with this. But women abusing men like that's a real good topic because people don't talk about it. But that's some real shit.
Got somebody we can phone about that.
But wait, women abuse men, I feel like differently too though. Like they'll fight, but I think women use I hate to say it like that, but their how can I say this?
Sensual nature.
Yeah, sensual nature to abuse men, like lure men.
Oh, lure men into their web,
into their whatever they want to do. And that's a form of abuse though, depending on what you're doing though.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like women be getting away with some stuff when it comes to dudes sometimes.
You can.
I ain't gonna say all the time, but sometimes they be taking advantage. They be taking advantage.
Women we can play dirty.
Dirty, sure. Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely.
For sure. And I think maybe men only come back and outlet is anger. Because they don't have a lot of tricks in their bag, I guess.
Yeah. And not to excuse,
women got more tricks in their bag.
Not to excuse abuse, but I think that a lot of times these men, especially when they dealing with women, that's all they know how to do, or the only thing they know how to get the upper hand by getting aggressive or getting physical. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I'm a man, I'm bigger, that's all I got.
I can scare you with that.
Yeah.
Intimidate you with that. But
a man who not super abusive or not just abusing all the time or just because, they can become victims too in different ways. No, they might not be afraid that a woman gonna walk up and smack them or punch them because they may not fear that, but there's been plenty of men that's been lured into some very bad situations by women.
Absolutely.
Has been set up and everything.
Have lost their lives.
Yeah, so it can happen.
Being honest about what they got going on. Yeah, it's both ways. It definitely can.
And it's some women that's just not having it. It's some women that's gonna fight. Yeah, like it's some women out here that'll fight a man. Yeah, and don't care if they lose or nothing.
Well, I think
it's some that don't care. Like it's whatever.
I think that people have lost Okay, so I'm not going to say I'm into gender roles. I'm not big on gender roles, but to a certain extent I am, because I do still feel like men and women have a certain place in the relationship.
What's up? Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Now, of course, we got more shows coming up. These are all just opinions and thoughts and experiences that we had that you hear on the show, okay? But honestly, it's all about you doing the work and don't give up on yourself. Also, one major thing that people probably don't think about is staying hydrated, all right? Must stay hydrated. Here's a nice insulated cup. Cold or warm beverages can be in this cup, all right? These cups are coming soon, but for now, we just gonna enjoy the show, and y'all make sure y'all like, y'all comment, and y'all subscribe. Message brought to you by IIC Podcast.
Now, on your side of the fence, I can say that you guys do choose certain roles in your relationship. So even on your side of the fence, it's like y'all got gender roles too. But we who on the other side, it's like I'm a woman, you're a man. There are some things that we should be doing, or there are some things we should be putting in place. And I'm not just talking about the washing the dishes, taking out the trash. Not that. I'm just saying that what are my expectations of you as the man or most dominant person in the relationship? And what are your expectations of me as the woman or the more nurturing person in the relationship? Whichever way we want to see ourselves.
Right.
But I think
some
we should have a position.
I agree. And some of those roles keep you comfortable in your relationship and secure.
Yeah.
So as a woman, what do you think some roles are that a woman should be playing or upkeeping when they're in a relationship?
Oh, wow. People gonna go hard
That's
if I
a good
say
question, right?
It is. That is. And it's a tight space. Okay. That's a tight space. Okay, me personally, a woman. I think you should live in your femininity. And when I say that, I feel like I said a lot of words in femininity.
A lot of syllables.
A little like femininity. Okay. I feel like you should bask in that, relax in that, be okay with being calm, nurturing, be okay with being just living in your feminine being. It's okay to let down your guard, or the opposite of aggressive, if I could just say. It's the opposite of aggressive. I think that you can still be feminine, be a woman, and have aggression in situations where it's necessary. But to not always have that aggression as your forefront is, to me, would seem like the opposite of masculinity. So you're always in a soft place, a calm place. If we go back to the Bible that, I don't know, everybody don't believe in or read the Bible, but I think there's like verses in that about virtuous women and being slow to speak or something like that, and slow to anger. So when I think of feminine, that's what I think of. I think of being very approachable, understanding, calm, wise, alert. I think people misunderstand the fact that because you're living in your feminine nature, that you are gullible or you don't know what's going on. That has nothing to do with it. I think that you can be very aware, very wise, very alert, but your manner about it doesn't have to be like, I'm alert and you need to know it, or you can't get nothing past me, or just a lot of neck rolling, and you don't have to do that.
Okay.
So did I answer the question? Because I feel like,
yeah, you answered the question to how you feel and what you think and your opinion about femininity and about being a woman and things like that, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a woman, let's just say what makes a woman stand out would be like her having a nurturing side. I like that a lot as far as a woman goes, because we are missing that. And I don't know if it's just our community as African Americans or whatever, or just the society we live in, the type of stuff you see on a day-to-day basis. I feel like we really do miss that nurturing side. And not to say men can't be nurturing, because they can, but unfortunately it's a stigma on nurturing men. It's either they're gay or they're up to no good, or now you got to watch him because he's too nurturing. He's giving a kid too much attention. Like, it's so hard, I feel like, for men to be nurturing in society. So it's like women are that. And I guess I can speak on my situation personally. I am a biological woman, but I am considered a transgender, so things are a little different for me. I take hormones, so that makes me different in a way, but I don't forget who I am or where I came from or what I was. But outside of hormones, and sometimes even with the hormones, I can feel those emotions more. As a woman, which produces more estrogen than probably a man, because of that, feels their emotions more, and they can feel more intuition, and they can feel when something's not right. You know, they're more sensitive because of how women are built compared to how a man is built. And women should take pride in that and use that. Don't be afraid to use that within their community. Be willing to be nurturing. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to be emotional. And of course, it's okay to cry as a man, but I'm just saying, as a woman, you should be okay with showing that soft side. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you saying a man should?
A woman should just be okay with being nurturing, be okay with being soft. And if you're not the kind of woman, you just not, but it's okay.
I'm almost thinking that maybe some people don't do it intentionally, but maybe because some women have been on their own for a long time or different factors in their life that cause them to be aggressive, always had to fight their way through certain situations that may cause them to come off with what they consider masculine energy because they always were a go-getter or had to go out here and get it and put things in place without a man's help or masculine energy help. So therefore they form their own. Sometimes with these certain women it's not like intentional. That's what I was thinking.
That might be true because a lot of people have been through some hard times and that's what make them hard.
Yeah.
You hard because you had to be hard. Like,
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. Like me personally, I would want it to be feminine energy on my end and masculine energy on the other.
It's safe to say, depending on who you are, your personality, and what you are as a person, whether or not your opposite is that or something else. So with that being said, what makes a man as far as what role should a man play in your world?
Well, in my world. Now, I don't know how y'all like y'all. Because I don't like all of that other stuff. No, but I like mine's very masculine. So that's probably
what's very masculine? Give me some qualities, characteristics. Okay, what does a masculine person do?
Providing the protection.
The two P's.
Okay. The security of that all. Things that centered around if I couldn't do it or if I'm in a certain situation, regardless, your goal and your mindset is to provide and protect no matter what condition I'm in.
So how should he treat you? So provide and protect.
When I typically say I like more dominant men or aggression, I'm not speaking from an angle where it's abuse or it looks like you just controlling me and doing whatever and I'm not doing nothing about it. You say what that looks like to me. It looks more like understanding, paying attention to me, our family, the household. You have to pay attention in order to be providing and protecting us. So just being alert in what situation we in, knowing that regardless of what I'm doing on my end, you're trying to make sure you make things happen, that we are overall safe. But I need the loyalty too, because I'm loyal. When I'm in a dynamic like that, I'm very loyal. So I need your loyalty.
So if you got a man that protects, I know that's like the number one thing, and provides, but he cheats on you or he's cheating on you.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work. It's not going to work because there's no loyalty in it.
Okay, so protects, provides, and...
Well, when I say
because you can protect and provide.
With no loyalty, I don't know.
You can. You might be being protective physically.
Well, if you
like, we walk outside, I'm going to make sure nobody bump into you. I'm going to make sure you don't hit your foot on the curb. I'm going to protect you from all the bad people in the world. Don't touch my girl. Now that's
how you going to do that when you at Keisha's house? And
I'm saying you in the house though. No, wait, because he got to go to work, right? Because now he providing, so now he got to go to work. So he ain't with you all the time, but he makes sure you get in the house safely. You good? Okay, I'm gonna put the alarm on. I'm gonna go ahead and go to work, and then after that, I'm gonna go see Keisha. You stay in the house so you can be safe.
Now something might happen while you at Keisha's house. So no, it ain't gonna work. I know where somebody might break in at Keisha's. Like when
I'm
you over
just
there
saying.
at Keisha. No, I can't.
Okay, so loyal.
You gotta have the loyalty.
You gotta have loyalty.
That's pretty much it. The loyalty got to be there because, I mean, think about it though. If you don't got no loyalty to whatever, in order to cheat though, y'all not thinking about the fact it's not just sleeping with somebody else. Because that's not really that serious. If you think about it, you slept with somebody else, whoop-de-doo. But if you think about what you have to do to cheat, the lies you have to tell.
But what if you telling the truth?
That ain't cheating then.
Oh.
If you told me ahead of time, you mean ahead of time?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he came home like, I'm about to go to Keisha's house.
Well, you're not cheating because you just told me, technically. You're not lying. You told me what you're about to do. Now it's on me. How?
Will you accept that though? If he protected and provided? Technically he loyal because he told you. He technically loyal because he said something.
It depends. Did you tell me that from the beginning? That's the type of dude you is. We can't come in the middle.
We're not gonna go that far. We're not going that far.
We not go that far. A whole year or 6 months, and all of a sudden you talking about you going off Keisha's house, and I never knew about Keisha 6 months prior.
So that's a problem.
You gotta let me know ahead of time.
But okay, so
you can't just spring it on me.
I'm gonna go to my point of view.
And now when I go to Keisha's house, you might not make it.
I'm gonna give you my point of view of what a man should be, and I'm gonna say because everybody is different. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't date men, but let's just say because I'm trans, let's say the type of man I probably would want to be in my fantasy world, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I would definitely look at myself as a protector by nature. However, I'm not a man, so a person ain't gonna see me and be like, oh, let me slow down. Like, I don't expect that because I was born a female. You know what I'm saying? But I still got that in my head that I am a protector, though. I'm like a little chihuahua. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at myself. Like, I'm still that, even though I'm small, right? Provider, I feel like, yes, of course. I feel like as a masculine figure in any relationship, one of your main goals should be to figure out how to provide for your family. That's just love.
Yeah, that's big love.
You want to put yourself out there
are you here for?
First. Like, yeah, like you definitely want to do that. Especially if you got children or woman. I don't give a care where you work. You can work at McDonald's. McDonald's. Just get up
Regardless
and
of how
do
much
it.
money she make, right?
Regardless.
This has nothing to do with what she
Nah,
makes.
it don't. It don't. Long as you got that
people feel
mindset, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna try to take the majority of the responsibility. If she make more than you, she just make more than you. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You don't feel like just because the woman makes money to her, women are out here getting it
I think
more
it's-
than men. Men can slack and what?
No, that's
My
not like a
thing is-
moocher.
Well, I think
That's
some
not like
men
a
see
moocher.
it that way sometimes with the women out here doing their thing and making these big bucks. And it's not like it used to be. Those are the old fashioned ways where men were working and women weren't.
They are.
So my thing is, what you gonna do? What's
Well,
gonna
see,
be your
that's what
position?
causes a man not to want to date certain women. When a woman be like, "I'm making money, so what are you doing?" Like, you can't do that because a lot of things have changed. For one, the things that men used to do is not as probably important or not as popular. Like, you got to think, a lot of women that are successful went to college, went to school, they got a degree.
Yeah.
You know, they in fields probably like nursing or fields where they sit at a computer. They in fields where probably a man don't want to be. It's like most of them want to get like a truck job or a warehouse job, so they might not get paid a lot, especially starting off. So it's like the role switching, not switching, the opportunities
Roles
has
have definitely
changed.
been switching.
That's because opportunities change.
Yeah.
And more women are working and paying their own bills, but that can cause some women to not value a man. I don't think that's right. And that can have some men like, I don't want to date a woman that makes a certain amount of money because she downing me. Like, you still can't down that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right, he didn't want to do right.
He probably didn't want to go to school, didn't want to sit through that. You know, he probably was just like, I'm going to give me a job. Just go straight to work. And that job might not pay a lot. But as long as he got the other qualities like protecting you, respecting you, because that's big too, respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On both ends.
He don't got to make more money than you. If you out here hustling and you a woman, that's just what you choose to do. And you might not meet that guy that make more money than you because you hustling.
Yeah.
You gotta be okay with that.
I've heard men say, it's not like that no more. These women out here getting certain kind of money and certain type
And
of
they like
bags.
F a man though. But then they get lonely. Now you gotta get, you done played so much and now you done got lonely. Now you gotta get that young boy that's
And what you
using
do
you.
with that young boy? Just take care of him.
Yeah, because now you done played all the men you done played all the men that was still gonna be the men in your life.
Yeah.
Just because you had a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And now you gotta go for young Johnny John. And he
Johnny
playing
John.
your video games and eating your cereal.
Yeah.
But that's all you can get now.
And
'cause
your
you done
baby
play-
fruit snacks.
That's all you can get now because you done overlooked the mature grown person.
Yeah.
I think that's called getting too much into the role playing. At this point, you like, I got a good job, I can role play. I can buy me a boyfriend or a boy toy.
Yeah. For sure.
So, I mean,
think
if that's
to
what you
each
want
his
to
own.
do with your life.
It's still to each his own and whatever you're looking for. But I do still believe chivalry isn't dead. And when it comes to the male role and the feminine role and relationship, there is nothing new under the sun. I still think the same thing that has been working before we were thought of still works today. I do. Because I don't think it's a value of money on it. I think it's the mental state. Because something can happen with the woman. She can get pregnant. She can get sick where the woman income is not bringing in what it brought in, even if she was the breadwinner. Where the man still have to have his mindset, this is my family and I need to make sure they're good.
Right, but you
And
should have that
vice versa with the
mindset
man.
regardless of that woman making more
Yeah.
money than you. Because, like you said, if something happened, you should still have that mindset and you should be ready
what
to
would be
take
your
over.
role if you didn't? What would be? That's a good question. What would be this man's role if he wasn't the protector and the provider? What else would he be?
I honestly
grandmother?
believe. Dang, gorgeous. I honestly believe, she calling people grandmothers. I honestly believe that it's okay for a man to be a nurturer too. Now, don't get it twisted.
Okay.
Especially if he got kids. You know, like, I'm not
Or he's a
against
single father. We ain't talk about those.
a single father or the mom not right. People just think only dads take off. Moms take off too. Or they check out. You know what I mean? And now you got to take the kids to school, cook for the kids, clean
Yes,
for the
yes,
kids.
yes.
So roles really don't matter for real, but this is just our thought of what we think as far as what we believe
Yeah.
or what we think at the time. But
Shout out to single dads.
yeah, it's single dads out here that okay, or even dads that stay home with their kids while the mama work.
Yeah.
If you comfortable with that, then that's
Real
y'all life.
MVP.
That's y'all life though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Do I think guys watch kids well? Not really, but you never know.
thanks
Some
for
guys
trying.
can. Right. And at least you
At
tried.
least you tried.
And you can't never get mad at a man that watches his own
Yeah,
kids.
that's what's
you know
up.
what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Kudos to him. You know what I mean? But eventually he probably should get out here and get a job though.
Yeah, I prefer it.
Do you think that men be treating women bad if they getting taken care of? Like they find other ways to
Absolutely.
assert their manhood?
Absolutely. When women
Like,
tend to take
I'm
care
tired
of
of her.
men, I have not found one. I don't know a lot of people, so don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. But I have not known one man that was not resentful or resenting that woman who took care of him, even when he was down and out, even when he needed the help.
I feel the same way. I feel like if a man let a woman take care of it, unless he kind of like
He
soft,
still.
like he gonna resent you for sure. Especially if everybody know it, like his homies and like if everybody know that you taking care of him and you the breadwinner, it's gonna mess with him somewhere in the inside, and then in return, he's gonna treat you a certain type of way. That's how I feel too. I feel like it never works, and that's why I always encourage women: don't be so quick to save a man, because sometimes men want to go through their own struggle. Like, it's a man thing. I think if he's a masculine type of man, I think he
Even
wants to go through the struggle and figure it out.
Set some boundaries. It's
Set
okay to have boundaries. It's okay. I don't know why women feel like, well, that's the nurturing part of us, I guess. We see, oh, you got a sore. Let me go get this band-aid.
That is the nurturing part.
That's the nurturing. That's the motherly thing
and
we were born with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which makes you want to go save the day. But I encourage you, do not do that.
No, because he gonna be looking at you like,
because there are
he gonna start talking to you crazy.
Depending on how you want to look at it, God, or whatever. There's things in life that he needs to acquire and do on his own to show himself and who he is and where he need to be and what place he need to have in this world. And God didn't ask you to do that.
God did not ask you to do that.
Because
first of all, to talk about being a parent is like, where do you start? Where do you end? Like they say, there's no rules to being a parent. Like, parenting is just parenting. Like, that's all you could do. That's all you can say.
Make sure there's an understanding within yourself. Like, well, I know I taught my child this, that, and the third. So whatever it is that they do, I know that wasn't on my conscience.
What's up, y'all? It's Cameron.
Gorgeous.
And what we need y'all to do is subscribe so y'all can get the latest and greatest updates on our show.
Like, subscribe, share.
And whatever y'all want to talk about, y'all can leave it down below in the comments.
Like, subscribe, and share down below. Let's go.